When we think of leadership, what comes to mind? Titles, age, experience, maybe even power. But do I? I want to challenge that thought today. Leadership isn't about waiting for a title or reaching a certain age. Leadership is about one word, and that's influence. And here's the truth. Young leaders hold the unique power to drive influence. Why? Because we bring authenticity, creativity, and an unfiltered vision of the future. We see the world as it is, and we dare to imagine what it can be. So today, I'm going to share the recipe to creating lasting leadership. Too often, leadership is viewed as something reserved for later in life. We are told to wait our turn, to learn more, grow older, get more experiences. But what if waiting isn't the answer? What if the world needs us right now? What if South Lansing needs me right now? We are the leaders of today, so let me tell you why that matters. The challenges that we face in our schools, in our communities, in our homes, and in the world do not come with an age requirement, let alone a height requirement. They demand action, and action doesn't wait for permission. But growing up as a kid, I was that guy. And even in college, to some degree, no pun intended, I was searching for permission. You may like to call it validation, and I seen it as a way to respect people's boundaries, to maintain peace in the room, even at the cost of my own. What was robbing me of my peace didn't ask for my permission. There's this quote that says, I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. Well, guess what? In some instances, I never even got an apology. At some point, I had to say to myself, I forgive myself for allowing others to hurt me. And I found out I had to be very forgiving. But then something magical happened in that moment. As I started to cry, the weight of the world lifted off of my shoulders. I can't show up as a leader if I can't show up for myself. I can't show up as a teacher if I can't show up for myself. I can't create a lasting legacy if I can't show up for myself, if I can't forgive myself. So then I thought back, like, when was the first time I knew that I was a leader? It was a random conversation with my friend Matt, and I was telling him about the story about how I used to sell cookies in the Atlanta airport at 13 years old with my dad. And that's the biggest airport in the nation, by the way, with no direct supervision. Now that takes audacity. And audacity is our first ingredient to our recipe. I started with that because it's a game changer. As a young man who was traditionally timid, mild, quiet, I was walking around the Atlanta airport at 13 years old with a backpack full of cookies. And I would walk around and I'd say, hey, my name is Myles Johnson. I have some chocolate chip cookies, some chocolate chip butterscotch. I'm trying to save money for college. Would you like to buy a cookie? And sometimes people would be like, yeah. And sometimes people would say no. So even though they may have not believed in me in that moment to buy a cookie, I said, regardless, I'm here from 9 to 3, so somebody's gonna buy a cookie whether they know it or not. And I'll be all over the airport, introducing myself to this person, to that person, building connection, having the audacity. So for you as a young leader, you need to know and you need to exercise that strength of having audacity. It's a difference maker. See, I didn't understand that. I had to practice it though. Nobody's gonna hand you anything unless you literally go up to them and ask them, hey, can I have it? Can I get that scholarship? How do I apply for that job? No one's just gonna inherently tell you. And no one inherently told me that. I had to go do it. So whether you're an entrepreneur, an educator, or a leader in general, we need to have that quality. You may be sitting there like, what's audacity, Myles? Audacity, where I'm from, they call it having heart. And if you ain't got no heart, a lot of people could sniff it out. Leads me to our next ingredient, authenticity. It comes from the heart. It requires extreme self-awareness and evaluation, knowing who you are and what you stand for, which can grow as you grow as a person, and that's fine. Be comfortable with being authentic, because it's not that you're leading anybody, you're leading a group of people who want to follow you, because you have shown that you're self-aware enough to go through the obstacles of life and not waver on your morals. People gravitate to people that are authentic, naturally so. It helps build trust, and trust is the currency of influence. Authenticity is not showing up how you feel like and hoping people just accept you for you. It's showing up as you promised consistently. Yes, I wear my dreads in professional settings with the suit and the sneakers, not today. If I can't make a delivery on my promise, though, none of that matters. I have to be consistent on following through on my promises. It's not really how I'm dressed. So they expected my cookies to be a certain way. People who always bought my cookies, they say, hey, Myles, I need a dozen cookies on Wednesday. I'd be like, okay. They needed them fresh, warm, and of course, delicious. I make a mean cookie. And so if I couldn't be consistent with that, there was no point in selling the cookies. Do you think anybody's gonna buy anything from you if you're not consistent? Think about it this way. Is anybody gonna follow you if you're not consistent? No. So you may miss a day, but don't make it a habit. Connect with your audience, build trust, and the rest will come from there. Which leads me to our next ingredient, vulnerability. Now this one, I didn't understand the value of it until it was too late. I took a long hiatus from baking cookies, and recently I started having fun with I'm passing out cookies at community meetings, church, wherever, just passing out free cookies. And at first, I'm thinking like, people are gonna judge me because who is this grown man passing out free cookies? And to my surprise, people were more intrigued about the story behind the cookies and how to purchase the cookies versus me, like trying to make fun. And so if I wasn't vulnerable in that moment, we would have never got there. But where did this sense of hesitation come from? It came from childhood. We all know, don't be open with people. You know, you don't know those people. You might get taken advantage of. You can't be seen as weak. The world is an ugly place, rightfully so. You can't just walk up and trust anybody. But at the same time, what I found out as a leader, there's a lot of people that do want to support you and be there for you. Heavy is the heart that is alone, but together you can make a difference. And so when I stepped out on faith, other people stepped out on faith as well. And so you may think, I don't want to tell nobody my business idea. I don't want to get up on this stage. I don't want to turn in that paper. But if you step out on faith, somebody is going to step out there with you. Our next ingredient, collaboration. No one leads alone. Build strong networks, mentors, peers, and even those you seek to serve. Together, again, you are unstoppable. As someone who has struggled with asking for help and collaborating, it was hard for me. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 13. Why would I need any help? I didn't even need my dad's help. He's shining shoes, I'm selling cookies. I took it so far, I'm going to the international side. It's a 30-minute ride from the main airport. I come back like, yeah, Pops, I sold out all my cookies. But see, here's the thing. When you get into a leadership role, it's not just about you. You can't just say, oh, no, I'm good. Because that's at the detriment of other people that are following behind you. When my mindset shifted, my life changed for the better. Now, what did this look like in real life? I asked for help ahead of time. Now, you're probably thinking, where did I learn how to bake cookies? My dad and my cousin. They showed me which specific ingredients to use, how much of those specific ingredients, how to mix them up and make a perfect cookie. So lastly, I want to talk about challenges, because I don't want to stand up here and make it seem like it's a pretty thing to be a leader. It's hard work. You have to make tough decisions, ones that will have you in the middle of the night tossing and turning and battling with yourself, thinking like, am I the only person in the world dealing with this issue? You're going to face doubt, failures, fear. Plenty of times I faced those same things, exhaustion, burnout. from trying to be everywhere and nowhere at the same time. As someone who has high empathy, I internalize other people's feelings, and it could be a lot of pressure. But it wasn't until I realized I wasn't alone that I stopped feeling that pressure. These challenges that I face and that you face as a young leader are only stepping stones to this pyramid of success. Don't let that hold you back, because ultimately, again, it's not about you. If you're trying to become a leader and you're in it for the money or you're in it for the power, this role is not for you. If you're wondering where to start, let's just go back to your childhood, because it's already in you and not on you. For me, when I went back to the cookies, I'm like, man, why the cookies? Because it was a step-by-step process. It's a recipe. You follow it, you get the same result again and again. Without one ingredient, it may not look or even taste the same. I've had that a couple times happen. But it makes a huge difference. You need to have all the ingredients to your cookie, to your life, your hobbies, your happiness, your sadness, the things that you've been through as a person. You mix that all up in a pot, in a bowl. You roll it out. You got the dough. You put it on the tray. You put it in the oven. You bake it. And sometimes when you get in that oven, it gets hot, real hot. But if you pull it out at the right time, boom, you have a nice homemade fresh cookie. And so I break it down that simple because sometimes I feel like we overcomplicate what it means to be a leader. We overcomplicate saying, oh, I have to go get this degree. Oh, I have to go get this certificate to be this leader, to be in this role, when really everything you need is inside of you. You just need to know how to present it. And once you understand how to present it and you know the recipe to that, you could pass that down from generation to generation to generation. So I want to leave you with this. Leadership is a present. It's a present opportunity, and the world needs your gift, young king, young queen. Those of you who are prepared to step up, challenge yourself, and solve the problems that nobody else wants to touch. If your project takes 6 months or 6 years, just know the time is going to pass regardless. So you might as well start now. That's how I've been able to go from cookies to county commissioner at 26 years old, re-elected for a second term, chair of the Law and Courts Committee. I have to follow my own teachings, and if I don't, nobody's gonna believe me. So I wanna follow in your footsteps though. If this message has hit you, if you are the young leaders that I've been looking for, then please stand up. Like this, love this message. It is for you. You don't need permission. All you need is you. Thank you.